have a special edition of The Dish for you this morning. Anthony Bourdain. Even for a chef, Bourdain has a serious appetite for life. He left the kitchen to become a best-selling author, and he's now known as an Emmy-winning, globe-trotting TV host. Bourdain's a very busy guy, as I found out when we met up this week here in New York.
Magic.
After a life on the road, traveling to parts unknown, eating with no reservations, Anthony Bourdain is very particular when he gets back home.
So you don't like being fussed over at restaurants, do you?
No, I don't. I don't want to be comped. I don't want extra courses. Just serve me like anybody else.
Which is why we met at Pastrami Queen on New York's Lexington Avenue.
This is your place when you come home?
This is my go-to. This is what I crave. No matter how well I've been eating or where that might be, this is the first thing I want and need.
In his travels, Bourdain has eaten everything, from rotten shark to
Sheep testicles.
Is there anything you won't eat?
I've eaten a lot of bad food. I've eaten a lot of putrefied food. It's when no one cares at all. That's soul destroying. I mean, maybe I take it too seriously, but I will literally, a really carelessly made burger by a cynical, large company. The contempt implicit in that transaction can really send me into a spiral of depression that will last for days.
actually little seems to slow him down.
So, how many pots do you have on the stove?
I don't even know, a lot. I mean, but all of them are fun pots.
They include producing, writing, and starring in his CNN series Parts Unknown, his web series Raw Craft, authoring a new cookbook, and a speaking tour.
How much are you on the road?
About 250 days a year.
Wow.
And it's been like this for the better part of 15 years.
And you're okay with that?
I've been sentenced to the best job in the world.
It started in 1999 when the then struggling chef wrote an article for The New Yorker titled, "Don't Eat Before Reading This,"
Which mushroomed into a book deal?
Overnight.
Kitchen Confidential, Adventures in the Culinary Underbelly, published in 2000, turned the restaurant world inside out and Bourdain's life upside down.
And this book changed everything.
Everything. I mean, I was 44 years old, uninsured, hideously and hopelessly in debt, behind on my taxes, behind on my rent.
The book would sell more than 1 million copies and launch a new career for the culinary bad boy.
How is this guy different than that guy?
I think when you travel as much as I have, I don't want to say I'm more humble, but I think you become aware of how other people live, how hard their lives are, how big the world is. And then, of course, the fatherhood changes everything. I became a father at 50. And, you know, at that moment, you stop being the star of the film. And that's
the truth.
For me, that was an enormous relief and a gift.
His daughter, Ariane, is the inspiration for his new cookbook, Appetites.
The person I'm trying to please, more often than not, is a 9-year-old and her friends. And I thought it would be put a stake through the heart of the bad boy image, you know, left over from, 1999.
Now, this wouldn't be The Dish if we didn't have a drink.
This is some very good 30-year-old Alvini whiskey.
There's a bad joke in here somewhere, too. Anthony's walking a bar at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
At Bemmelman's Bar in the Carlisle Hotel, we sampled some of Balveni's best scotch. It sells for about $1,000 a bottle.
This is very smooth. This is like...
Yeah, it better be.
Bourdain has partnered with the Scottish distillery on his new web series, Raw Craft, to profile great artisans.
So what is it you admire about him?
I think because I worked in an industry where everything was fungible, everything was replaceable, everything was temporary. Food, you only had that 1 second of satisfaction. There's this little part of me that's always thought, wouldn't it be nice to be able to make beautiful things with my hands that last?
He's had a lot of unlikely encounters in his travels. This season on Parts Unknown, Bourdain met up with President Obama in a small Hanoi restaurant in Vietnam.
It was not an ideal situation from the Secret Service's point of view. I assure you, it was a room about this size. I think one exit, second floor of a not particularly clean noodle shop. He's very good with chopsticks, which, endears anyone to me. And, it's nice seeing the President of the United States drinking beer out of the bottle.
Is there anybody out there still you really love to have a meal with?
Keith Richards.
Keith Richards.
I've been trying for years to eat like bangers and mash and maybe cook steak and kidney pie with Keith Richards and talk about British naval history, which he's a big fan of. I think that would be super cool.
That does sound like a pretty good meal,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
By the way, I did not get to keep that bottle of scotch.
I was like, where's my glass? I don't see it around here.
I would have so liked to walk out of there with it, but it was nice just to even have a sip.
It was great to see him a little bit also just away from food and the talk about his daughter, too.
Yeah, well, obviously that's really important.